It's summer travel season, and that's good news for domestic airlines. In the first quarter of 2015, U.S. airlines made $1.6 billion just from checked bags and change fees. That's the highest amount for the first quarter since bag fees first took off in 2008, and more fees could be on the way. To talk about this, Mark Murphy, President and CEO of Travel Alliance Media. Mark, thanks for being here.
Yeah, Vlad.
So, $1.6 billion.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. If they stay on that trend, they're going to double what they did last year.
What is going on? Why? How are they making so much money off
Well,
this?
that first bag is $25. That's pretty much standard rule. $35 for the second bag. But, boy, you get to that third bag, could be $100, $150, $200
right.
to check that third bag.
Wow.
So it gets really high.
And so which fees are the ones that are hitting people, flyers, hardest?
Bag fees
and
change fees. And I hate change fees.
Change fees are crazy.
They drive me nuts.
And so what happens? I mean, sometimes you have to change a flight, and you've already paid for it, and they're like, well, yeah, you can change it, no problem.
Yeah.
It'll cost you another $250.
Well, that's just the change fee. So let's say it's $200 to change a domestic ticket these days, pretty much across the board. So I changed the ticket. It's $200. But hold on a second, Vlad. We got to add the difference in fare. We said reprice the ticket based on today's fare, which could be up $500. So now it's $700 to change the ticket. You know what I did last week when I came to see you guys? I went from Florida, came up here, and I just booked a nonstop ticket on another airline because it was cheaper to do that than pay the change fee, the difference in fare, and all that other nonsense.
So wait, you let that other ticket?
I just let it go because there's nothing I can do with it. I flew on outbound, and on my return, it's useless. It's gone. So travelers try to figure out ways around these things, and we talked last week about the IATA policy with the bags.
Yes, right, yeah, sure.
So all of these things are coming into bear, and the consumers are pushing back. The question is, are they not flying? No, they're flying in record numbers, and that's what we're seeing.
How are consumers able to push back? What can they do, or what are some of the tricks that
Buy your own airline.
Yeah, right. Do that right first thing tomorrow morning. Is there anything that anybody can do?
No, you got to be smart about how you pack, how you travel lighter. Put it in your carry-on bag. The unintended consequences of all these bag fees is that people will take stuff and bring the kitchen sink on.
Right.
And so that's why you had the IATA ruling or suggestion about the smaller bags, which is there's a lot of pushback on that. I don't think that's going to happen. So you can do that, but to be frank, you're at the mercy of 4 major carriers that control the vast majority of traffic in the U.S. It is an oligopoly. You will see one airline raise a fee, and every other airline will follow suit if they think it's going to stick because it goes right to their bottom line.
It's a sort of a supply and demand thing, right?
Yeah.
People are angry and they're not happy about it, but they got to fly, they got to take the kids on vacation, they got to do what they got to do.
Or you do this, right? Look at the gas prices today. What do? Get in your van, drive a couple 100 miles, 400 miles, take a different type of vacation. The other thing is we're here in New York City. Go right to the pier, get on a cruise, and in a day and a half you're in the Caribbean, and you didn't have to swim and you didn't have to fly.
That's a good
so
point.
those are the things that the other players in the travel industry are taking advantage of. In particular, the cruise lines are taking advantage of that.
What happened, though, to the fact that the airlines used to rely on their business class customers to pay for everybody else? I mean, you're charging $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 for a business class ticket to some parts of the world. So you're talking now, in addition to charging those prices, which they're still doing.
Well, the business class guys and the heavy frequent travelers get a free pass. So for me, if I fly on American, I get my first 2 bags free.
Right.
You might have to pay unless you're a heavy traveler with them. So they'll take care of us as frequent travelers because we pay those last-minute fares that are really high. We fly first class or business class sometimes. So we are the creme de la creme for the airlines. What drives the back of the plane is typically the lead-in ticket price. But what's happening is there's so much demand for travel, you can't find a cheap fare, and if you want to go, the only way to go is sprout some wings, right?
Right. So that business class ticket, they're not. What you're basically saying is they're not happy with making all that money on the front end of the plane. They are still making that money, but they still have to charge us.
So think about it. The back used to be filled on price, and now they're making great yields on the back of the plane. They're making great yields on the front of the plane. And they're even trimming back the frequent flyer programs on guys like me, which is aggravating guys like me. But where am I going to go?
Right.
Because if I'm flying out of Philadelphia, I got to be on American because they're the main carrier out of Philadelphia. They've got a lock on me until I change places where I actually live.
Capitalism at work.
It is. It is what it is, right?
It is what it is. Mark Murphy, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
Great.